Imagine living a life where every desire is instantly fulfilled, every comfort provided, and every hint of pain meticulously banished. You are born into a world of absolute luxury, a prince shielded from all sorrow. But what if, deep within your heart, an inexplicable restlessness stirs, a profound yearning that no earthly pleasure can satisfy? What if, despite having everything, you choose to abandon it all in pursuit of a truth far greater than any kingdom? Today, we embark on one of the most pivotal and courageous moments in human history, the great renunciation, Mahabaniskramana, of Prince Siddhartha Gautama. This is not merely a tale of a royal leaving home, it's a profound exploration of existential yearning, the awakening of a compassionate heart, and the ultimate act of sacrificing everything for the sake of universal liberation. Prepare to witness the defining moments that propelled Siddhartha towards his destiny as the Buddha, the Awakened One, a journey that offers profound insights into our own quests for meaning and freedom. Chapter 1. The Disquieted Prince, a heart stirring beyond luxury. Our story begins with Prince Siddhartha Gautama, living a life meticulously crafted to be utterly devoid of suffering. Born into a royal family in ancient India, he was surrounded by every comfort imaginable. His days were filled with exquisite pleasures, abundant toys, the finest silks, the best education, and countless servants attending to his every whim. He excelled in royal pursuits, swimming, archery, swordsmanship, horsemanship, mastering them all. The palace was his entire world, a gilded cage designed by his doting father, King Suddhodana, to shield him from all the harsh realities of aging, illness, and death. This was the king's grand plan to ensure Siddhartha fulfilled a prophecy of becoming a mighty universal ruler, not a wandering holy man. Yet, despite this outwardly perfect existence, a profound disquiet began to stir within Siddhartha. The endless cycle of pleasures, though seemingly fulfilling, left him with an inexplicable restlessness, a gnawing emptiness. He found himself losing interest in the very luxuries that defined his world. The joy of fine clothes, the excitement of new toys, the fleeting pleasure of entertainment, it all seemed hollow, failing to provide the lasting happiness his soul yearned for. Everyone around him was saddened to see the changes in their beloved Prince Siddhartha, who once radiated youthful joy but now carried a contemplative, almost melancholic air. This deep inner longing led him to a desperate plea to his father. "Father," Siddhartha requested, his voice filled with a quiet urgency, "give me permission to leave this palace and go somewhere else. I prefer a change of place, a change of scenery." The worried king, observing his son's somber mood, readily accepted, hoping a change of environment, even within the confines of his kingdom, might restore Siddhartha's former cheer. "If that will make you happy, my son, I give you permission," the king replied, though his heart was heavy with unspoken fear. He immediately summoned his ministers, ordering them, "Ministers, keep a close watch and stay near him. Take care of him, ensure no unpleasant sight disturbs him." The king, still clinging to his grand plan, believed he could control reality by controlling Siddhartha's environment. Buddhist insight. This initial segment beautifully portrays the first noble truth, dukkha, particularly sankhara dukkha, the pervasive unsatisfactoriness of conditioned existence. Even in ultimate pleasure, suffering arises due to the inherent impermanence and unreliability of all compounded things. Siddhartha's inexplicable restlessness, despite luxury, highlights that true happiness is not externally derived. The king's attempts to shield Siddhartha, driven by avidya, ignorance, and tanha, craving for worldly power, ironically set the stage for Siddhartha's deeper awakening. Siddhartha's yearning for a change of place symbolizes his nascent spiritual quest, a call to explore beyond the confines of his conditioned existence. Chapter 2. The Dance of Life and Suffering, an Epiphany in the Field. So, the prince was granted permission to leave the palace, accompanied by his vigilant retinue, though their presence was designed to continue his isolation from harsh realities. As they journeyed, Siddhartha's discerning eye was drawn to a scene of profound simplicity and brutal reality. "What a lovely place," he might have thought, as they encountered a man and his ox diligently plowing a field. The sight of honest labor was new to him. Siddhartha chose to sit down nearby, observing the scene intently. As he watched the plow cut across the earth, turning over the soil, He saw an earthworm tragically thrown out onto the surface. A small frog, quick and opportunistic, hopped down and devoured the worm. Then, from a nearby bush, a snake, swift and silent, gulped down the frog. And finally, an eagle, majestic and powerful, swooped down from the sky, grabbed the snake, and flew away, disappearing into the vastness above. This intricate, brutal dance of life and death, of predator and prey, unfolded before Siddhartha's eyes. It was a raw, unfiltered microcosm of the suffering he had been shielded from. What suffering the creatures go through, he mused, a deep sense of empathy and sorrow washing over him. I do not like to see this sad and miserable existence in this world. This profound observation was his first unmediated encounter with the direct dukkha of living beings beyond himself. Overwhelmed by this stark revelation, Siddhartha sought solace. He sat down under a nearby rose apple tree, a tree of beautiful symbolism. As he meditated, delving deeper into the profound suffering he had just witnessed, something remarkable occurred. His mind, instead of becoming agitated by the gruesome scene, found a surprising sense of peace. For the very first time in his life, he could feel a true sense of peace and serenity, a clarity that transcended the pain of observation. His mind was now relaxed and at ease, not because the suffering had disappeared, but because his perception of it, his relationship to it, had fundamentally shifted through mindful observation. Buddhist insight. This powerful anecdote, though less commonly cited than the four sights, beautifully illustrates Siddhartha's developing vipassana insight. He directly observes the interconnectedness of life and death, the food chain, which is a visceral manifestation of dukkha, suffering, and anicca, impermanence. The sequence of predation represents the cycle of samsara, where beings consume each other and are caught in a web of suffering. His profound sadness indicates his deepening karuna, compassion. Crucially, his mind finds peace through observing suffering, not by avoiding it. This is a vital precursor to his enlightenment, demonstrating that true peace comes from understanding reality, not escaping it. The peace he found in meditation under the rose apple tree signifies the power of samadhi, concentration, and early mindfulness, sati, where external events do not disturb inner tranquility. Chapter 3. The King's Plea and the Prince's Unwavering Resolve. Upon his return to the palace, Siddhartha's attendants observed a remarkable change in him. One might have commented, "Your eyes are bright and calm. You look peaceful." This newfound tranquility, however, was born from a realization that would soon lead to a far greater renunciation. Siddhartha, having tasted true peace in his meditation, realized the fleeting nature of worldly pleasures. I am tired of the so-called pleasures that were to be found in the company of others. He reflected, but now I have left my home and live in the forest caves. I wandered around in search of a way to put an end to my sufferings. Now I have found the true meaning of my life. From now, I will start searching for true happiness and find a cure for the sufferings of the world. This was his inner declaration, a commitment to a path far grander than any kingdom. He approached his father, King Suddhodana, his mind resolute. "Father, father," he began. "Yes, son, I am here," the king replied, his voice laced with concern. Anticipating another unusual request, "I am here with a request," Siddhartha stated. The king, fearing the prophecy of his son becoming a holy man, interjected, his voice pleading, "Son, do not make a request that will break my heart." "Father, understand," Siddhartha implored, his voice firm but filled with immense compassion. "I want to become a homeless wanderer so that I can search for a path to put an end to all pain and misery in the world. Allow me to explore this path. This is my true calling." The king was utterly dismayed. "What will I do now? My fear has come true," he grieved. "Siddhartha, my dear, please forget the idea of leaving the palace. You are still too young to lead the lonely and arduous life of a holy man. Put off your decision until you're old enough. Moreover, you are the heir to the throne, you must rule this kingdom." Siddhartha, however, offered a counter-proposition, a set of impossible conditions that highlighted the universal truths he had just grasped. "Father," he said, "I will rule this kingdom if you give me 4 promises." The king, desperate, asked, "What are they?" Siddhartha replied, "Promise me that my life will not end in death. Promise me that sickness will not impair my health. Promise me that age will not follow my youth. Promise me that misfortune will not destroy my prosperity, and that I will not be in a state of unhappiness even for a moment." The king was speechless. "You are asking too much," he finally replied, knowing these were beyond any human power. "Give up this idea. It is not well to act on a foolish impulse." Siddhartha, with profound wisdom, countered, "Solemn is Meru mountain, a symbol of stability, but even Meru mountain is impermanent. Promise me these 4 things, or do not hold me back." "O Father, when someone is trying to escape from a burning house, we should not hinder him. The day comes inevitably when we must leave this world. But what merit is there in a forced separation? A voluntary separation is far better." Siddhartha's words were a compassionate yet firm declaration of his resolve to escape the burning house of samsara. The king, deeply disturbed, returned to the palace. He immediately called for his minister. "You seem to be deeply disturbed. Can I help you?" "My lord?" the minister asked. "Minister," the king commanded, "we need to watch Siddhartha. Double up the security. I want you to guard the prince round the clock. The prince should not be allowed to leave the palace for any reason." "That is my order." The king, clinging to his worldly attachments, believed he could imprison destiny itself. Buddhist insight. This crucial interaction depicts Siddhartha's decision for the great renunciation, Mahabaniskramana. His requests for the 4 impossible promises directly highlight the 4 noble truths in a personal context: the reality of dukkha, suffering through death, sickness, old age, unhappiness, and the desire for its cessation. His metaphor of the burning house is a classic Buddhist analogy for samsara, a realm consumed by the fires of desire, hatred, and ignorance. The king's reaction demonstrates profound avidya, ignorance, and tanha, craving, his attachment to his son, his kingdom, and the illusion of control. Siddhartha's unwavering resolve despite his father's grief shows his deep karuna, compassion, which compelled him to seek universal liberation, even at personal cost. This is a foundational act of nekkhamma, renunciation. Chapter 4. The Escape, a Night of Destiny and Divine Assistance. That same night, despite the king's doubled security, the profound realizations of illness, death, misery, and old age kept revolving in Siddhartha's mind. The urgency to find a way out of this suffering was overwhelming. "I have made up my mind," he thought. "Tonight, somehow, I have to leave this palace. But how?" The doors were heavily guarded. The palace a fortress designed to keep him in. After dinner, as the palace slept, Siddhartha made his way towards Gopa's chamber. He yearned to see his son, Rahula, one last time. "Oh, she is sleeping," he observed. He neared the bed. He wished to lift the princess's hand to take his son in his arms, to hold him one last time. But he hesitated. He knew that even the slightest movement might awaken her, and his departure would be hampered, perhaps prevented entirely. The weight of his purpose, the urgency of his quest for universal liberation, outweighed his personal longing. "When I find the truth," he resolved, "I will come back and see him." This was a profound act of compassion, choosing the greater good over immediate emotional comfort. By the time Siddhartha reached the entrance of the palace, a miraculous occurrence unfolded. All the guards, usually vigilant and alert, were found sleeping soundly, slumped over their posts. A supernatural power, perhaps divine assistance from the devas who wished for his awakening, had put all the guards into such a profound sleep that no sound whatsoever would waken them. "Channa, Channa, wake up," Siddhartha whispered urgently to his charioteer, who was also in a deep slumber. "Prince, what are you doing here at this midnight hour?" Channa awoke, startled. "Silence," Siddhartha commanded. "Do not make noise. Bring my horse, Kanthaka. I feel like going for a ride." Channa, as if in a trance, compelled by an unseen, superior power, carried out the prince's orders. Siddhartha mounted Kanthaka, his magnificent horse, and whispered, "Do not make a sound. Kanthaka, let us leave this place very quietly." Siddhartha rode on his horse, and Channa followed him, leading the way. They rode out quietly into the dark, moonlit night. Upon reaching the edge of the city, they found the heavy iron bars protecting the gates of the city. An elephant could have raised them only with great difficulty. But to allow the prince, the future Buddha, to pass, the gates opened silently of their own accord, leaving his father, his son, and his people behind. Siddhartha went forth from the city, not with regret or sorrow, But with a firm, unwavering resolve, in a steady voice, he cried out to himself, to the universe, until I have seen the end of life and of death, I shall not return to the city of Kapilavastu. This was his ultimate vow, a commitment to conquer samsara itself. Kanthaka bravely carried him a great distance throughout the night. When the sun finally peered between the eyelids of night, signaling the dawn, the most noble of men saw that he was near a serene wood, a tranquil dwelling place of many pious hermits. Deer were asleep under the trees, and birds fluttered about fearlessly. Unperturbed by human presence, Siddhartha felt rested, a sense of rightness in this quiet refuge. He thought, I need go no further. This is the place for my quest. He dismounted and gently stroked his magnificent horse. There was happiness in his glance and in his voice as he said to Channa, truly, Kanthaka has the strength and swiftness of a god, and you, dear friend, by bearing me company, prove to me how great is your affection and your courage. Take the horse now and return to the city. I have found the forest I was seeking for my enlightenment. What, am I going back without you? I can't bear this, Prince, Channa cried, tears streaming down his face. Do not cry, Channa, Siddhartha consoled him. I can understand your grief. Take all these jewels, I do not need them anymore. And tell my father that I have not left them in anger. I still love them. I am leaving because I love them most. When I finish my search, I will return to them. Channa, heartbroken, took the reins of Kanthaka and slowly led the horse back to the palace. Finally, he reached the capital. Channa, where were you? We were searching for you. Hope you know the whereabouts of our prince, the guards exclaimed. Channa, with tears still in his eyes, relayed the devastating news. He has left us. He has renounced royal life forever. Buddhist insight. This highly symbolic escape is central to the Buddha's narrative. His decision not to wake Gopa and Rahula, despite his personal longing, highlights his profound karuna, compassion, and nekama, renunciation, prioritizing the universal liberation over personal attachment. The sleeping guards and self-opening gates represent divine intervention, or the power of his accumulated positive karma, signifying that the universe itself was aligning with his sacred mission. His final vow before leaving Kapilavastu underscores his absolute commitment to ending suffering for all. Kanthaka and Channa's grief humanizes the story, but their ultimate acceptance and assistance further symbolize the alignment of all forces with the path to enlightenment. The offering of jewels signifies his complete detachment from material wealth. This entire event is the culmination of his right intention, Samma Sankappa, and the initiation of his actual spiritual practice as a wandering ascetic. Conclusion. The ultimate renunciation, a path of unconditional love. The story of Prince Siddhartha's great renunciation is far more than a myth, it's a profound, universal parable for anyone seeking deeper meaning and liberation in their own lives. It challenges our conventional understanding of happiness, sacrifice, and true love. Key learnings for your personal Buddha story. The insufficiency of worldly pleasure. Siddhartha, despite having everything, still experienced dukkha, suffering, and restlessness. This teaches us that external comforts and endless gratification cannot bring lasting peace or true fulfillment. The pursuit of fleeting pleasures is a temporary distraction from the inherent unsatisfactoriness of conditioned existence. The courage of radical renunciation. Siddhartha's act of leaving his family and kingdom was not one of abandonment but of supreme compassion, karuna. He renounced personal attachment to find a universal solution to suffering. This is the ultimate act of nekama, demonstrating that true love extends beyond the individual to embrace all beings. Personal application. Renunciation in modern life doesn't always mean becoming a monk. It can mean renouncing unhelpful habits, unhealthy attachments to social media, material possessions, specific outcomes, or destructive thought patterns that hinder your well-being. It's about letting go of what doesn't serve your highest purpose. The power of insight and inner stirring. Siddhartha's journey began with an inexplicable restlessness, an inner questioning that led him to observe the four sights. This highlights the importance of listening to our inner promptings, questioning our assumptions, and bravely confronting the realities of life, even if they are uncomfortable. Personal application. Pay attention to your own moments of restlessness or dissatisfaction. Instead of trying to fill them with external distractions, Explore what they are trying to tell you. These feelings can be powerful catalysts for personal growth and deeper inquiry. The path of wisdom, prajna, over blind comfort. The king's desire to shield Siddhartha, though born of love, was rooted in avidya, ignorance. Siddhartha's unwavering resolve to seek truth, even through suffering, demonstrates the priority of wisdom over imposed comfort. True happiness comes from understanding and facing reality, not from avoiding it. Personal application. Are you shielding yourself from uncomfortable truths about your life, your relationships, or your habits? Embracing reality, even when it's challenging, is the first step towards genuine transformation and finding real solutions. The beginning of the quest. Siddhartha's renunciation was not the end of his journey but the courageous beginning of his arduous, yet ultimately liberating, quest for enlightenment. It was the moment he truly committed to finding the universal solution to suffering, not just for himself, but for all beings. Personal application. Every profound change in our lives, every moment of letting go, is not an ending but a powerful new beginning. Embrace these transitions as opportunities for deeper spiritual exploration and transformation. The great renunciation of Prince Siddhartha stands as an eternal beacon, reminding us that true freedom and profound peace are born from the courage to let go of what we think we need, to embrace the unknown, and to embark on the ultimate journey of self-discovery for the benefit of all. Thank you for watching, and may you always carry the profound peace and illuminating wisdom of these stories within your heart. Join our growing community by liking this video and subscribing to Buddha Story, where ancient wisdom beautifully meets modern mindfulness. What comfort, or attachment, are you ready to bravely let go of in your own life to begin a new journey of awakening? Share your reflections and experiences in the comments below. Until our next encounter, may your path be filled with profound peace, deep understanding, and the radiant light of your own awakening.